Welcome, everybody, to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest-running sales training podcast in the history of podcasts. My name is Bryan Neal.
My name is Bill Caskey.
Here every week for your listening enjoyment. We've been here every week for 19 years and 9 months. And that's what a great, cool, fun thing. Bill and I, we started doing this in 2006, 2006, as they say. And we are having a big celebration about that. We decided to have our own, a lot of people called us and asked us if they could do a celebration for us, and we turned them all down. That's not true. Nobody called. Nobody. None of you called and said, "Hey, Bill and Bryan, we'd like to do something."
I got one call.
Oh, did you?
From the Globetrotter group, the Andy Bacone group, and they want to do something, so they're waiting on instruction right now. They're just standing by their phone.
Well, wait no longer, friends. We will shortly, we don't have the timing on this, but soon we will have on the website, advancedsellingpodcast.com, your chance to participate in our 20th anniversary celebration by recording a video, maybe an audio if you are video shy, but prefer like a video, either something you've learned from us, a clarifying question, something you'd like us to talk about, or just to say thanks, or anything that the Advanced Selling Podcast has done for your sales career. And if you participate, there's a prize. You're going to be able to join Bill and I for a live 20th anniversary celebratory live training event that's coming in September. We'll have dates and details.
We will fly you out.
We are not flying anyone.
To a spa in Noblesville, Indiana.
A spa. Oh, gosh.
We're
not going to do
rub down. We will rub
right.
We actually, that's part of our training regimen.
But you just go to advancedsellingpodcast.com. Now, if you go today, we're working, this is like in process. So it's not up today. Go back tomorrow and the next day. It'll be up. But all you got to do, you'll be able to click a button, shoot a little video, record it, upload it, whatever there. And then that will get you your ticket to our live event in September, which is free. And it's not a sweepstakes. Everybody who participates gets to come to the 20th anniversary celebration event in September, which will be virtual. It won't be live.
And if you're not a part of our LinkedIn group, we'll be communicating through there. I suspect, go to advancedsellingpodcast.com/LinkedIn, get in the group. And so we'll be posting some notifications there and the links and stuff like that. So we'd love to hear from you. But all kidding aside, if you want to do it now, if you're like, oh no, I need to do this now, just send us a link, post it up on Dropbox or Google or somewhere in the cloud. Send us a link to a listener at advancedsellingpodcast.com and you're in. You don't have to fill out registrations, forms, anything like that.
No,
it's easy.
Fun.
All right. I can't help but listening to people when I'm having coffee and listening to people at the next table. And it was this father of two little girls. They were probably 3 and 4, 3 and 5. And they were doing a FaceTime call with auntie or grandmama or somebody. Yeah. And he says, well, we'll do it. But, she lives in Denver. So it's 9 o'clock here. It's 7 o'clock there. And I could see the girls' faces like, oh, huh? What are we talking about here? And I thought what he should have said before he went into this said, look, girls, I'm going to give you a lesson on life. Over the course of the next 50 years, you will spend an inordinate amount of time on time zones, understanding whose time. You might even go on vacation sometime with your family, and some of the family will be operating on home time, and some will be operating on. And you will start to get familiar with, well, is Kansas City and is that Central Time or is that Mountain Time? Because there's always those. And then you've got Arizona, I think, that doesn't change, and Indiana used to not change. You got to keep that all sorted out because. Yes. And then you kind of know that Europe is 4 or 5 hours ahead. You kind of have a general sense. And then somebody from Australia calls and wants you to have a call with them. And you have no idea not only what time it is, what day it is. So,
that would have been a funny little tirade to go on with a 7-year-old. She just would have gone, what is he talking about? And I have this is in my DNA where I grew up. In Evansville, Indiana.
Oh,
our whole state is on the Eastern time zone, except about 5 counties in the northwestern corner,
exactly,
and 4 counties in the southwestern corner. One of which is where I grew up.
Yeah.
So if I call Indianapolis, or as we say down there, Indianapolis, people from Evansville take all the vowels out. They go Indianapolis. We're on different time zones.
See, it multiplies
same
the confusion.
State. It's brutal. Yeah. It's just brutal.
Not only is Indiana a border state between East and Central, but there's a few counties in cities.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
we went on a vacation to Punta Cana, which was great. It's near the equator, and my kids were complaining, which is funny to hear them complaining when they're in Punta Cana. It doesn't stay light out here, Dad, as long as it does back at home. It's kind of weird. The sun sets early. I'm like, that's because we're near the equator. It's always this way. It's 12 hours basically all the time. They were struggling to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought that was a bad thing. Like, why doesn't it stay up longer? I'm like, I don't know. Ask God. Hey, God.
Yeah.
Why did you tilt the earth? Why didn't you just keep put it up and down straight? Like, I don't
So you pulled out out of your pocket the blow up globe and says, okay, now here's why the sun, because it's bigger, it's fatter, the earth's fatter.
Yes. You now get you get astrophysics physics lessons now in the Advanced Selling Podcast. You're welcome.
I remember my mother-in-law, who's no longer with us. She was a great lady, Sally. And I remember when Kelly got back, my daughter got back from Japan one time, Kelly was talking about the food and the cleanliness, and she was just going on and on about what a great trip. And Sally was more interested in, now what time is it there? When it's 6 o'clock here, what time is it there? It's nothing to do with
it's also the next day. It's so confusing when you cross the international date.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, it's 9, but it's 9 on Thursday. Not whoa, huh? Yeah, when it's 9 Wednesday here, it's 9 a.m. Thursday there. Well, how is that? Anyway.
That's funny. Okay. Topic. You want me to go into this?
Yeah,
real quick?
Dig it, please.
Okay. Bryan and I have talked on the show about when we go into an organization or we have coaching and we give advice, counsel, sometimes that advice is not taken. In fact, more often than not, it's not. But when it is, it's beautiful advice, and we think all of our advice is good, and maybe it's not. But generally, we don't dish out advice that's not proven and that we haven't time tested. But the challenge is that what happens when that advice lands on the ears of our clients? And what happens when we, on this podcast, give you something to go do and it kind of lands with a thud? And it's like, yeah, it sounds good, but my business is different. And so I was talking to a prospect the other day. I said, look, there's a difference between the seed and the soil. And the seed is the things that we give, the advice, the strategies, the tactics. But the soil is what that seed is planted in. And if the soil is not healthy and in this case, an individual, if their heart is closed and their ego is humongous and they're just not willing at all to take in any kind of new data, then they're not going to grow. And so we started going down this path, and I said that, and he said, well, what causes people not to engage and not to? And I said, well, there's patterns. There's patterns of limitations, and that's the title of today's program. Is what are the patterns that we've kind of bought into that actually limit us from taking in new information and deploying it and getting the ultimate benefit from it? And so I've got a handful here. I posed this to Bryan when we started, and we changed the name of it from what it was to patterns of limitation. But I think it's useful because if we're not growing, if our business is not growing, our income, or we're feeling stuck, it probably has something to do with some of these things.
And I listened to when you teed this up, Bill. I'm thinking these are often disguised as patterns of progress or patterns of success because they have been. And for me, I'm thinking one of the telltale signs, even when we do these topics, it's good because we think of them ourselves. I do. We both think of them. How do I think about, what do I do with this? You will, the soil, you're like, well, what do you plant there? Well, we plant corn. We just plant corn there always because, whatever. It's like, have you ever planted beans? Like, well, no, we don't plant beans because of this and that and the other thing. Versus going, that's a good question. Why don't I plant beans there? Maybe I should plant beans, or maybe I should grow hemp these days. You know what I mean? It's like, and because part of it, we're just so used to the thing that's because it's worked for us.
Yeah.
And so these patterns of limitations are disguised as things that are already working for us. So for me, the first trick is to start to question things. Elon, everybody knows now, is the first trillionaire. I'm paraphrasing it, but I've heard him say often, he talks about this all the time. So many times we are taught to optimize for the wrong thing. So we are taught to optimize for a thing that shouldn't exist. That's right. What he says. That's right. And so he questions everything. Like, why should this exist? So if you're a seller, and you're going, oh yeah, well, here's how I organize my day because of da-da-da-da-da. You're never questioning, why do I organize my day this way? Why should I? Should I do that? Should I not do that? It's stupid. In football, we have there's a little concept we have. There's very few times you would decline a 15-yard penalty. This is American football. And I was listening to a rule coaching session this morning, and one of my buddies, he said, anytime you're going to decline a 15-yard foul, you should always ask why, because you almost never do it. Even if you're supposed to, you never do it. Always question. So I think that's the first thing for me is, can I get in this place of constant questioning of what I'm doing?
Why don't we do a 2-part series on this? Because this is a lot, and it's a lot to take in. And you're blowing my mind, Bryan. No, I always like when the podcast host says, "Oh, I'm taking a lot of notes here."
Taking notes.
No, you're not. You're not taking notes.
These days too, everything's recorded, man. Just get it transcribed.
Send it through AI. You'll get your
notes. Funny.
One example. I thought you were going down the idea that, well, that's just me. That's just the way I do things. Like big picture people versus detail people. And there is some kind of badge of honor that the big picture person wears proudly. Oh, I don't get messed up in the detail. I'm a big picture guy or person.
That would be me.
And I feel like, that's probably not a good badge today, because if you delegate all the details, who's to say that the people who are doing the details have the same vision you do? So you almost have to be in two worlds. You have to be in the big picture world. That then the question is, well, how am I going to get to that big picture? Yep. There's a whole lot of freaking details between where you are and that big picture destination. And I think I agree with you, Bryan. We wear the badge of, well, that's just not me. I'm not built for that. Well, maybe you should be.
Yes. I just had a conversation with a friend who is the COO of a really, really big distribution company. And he's a great friend, and he's a really great business, great, super successful business. We were talking about sales. He goes, I don't really do much CRM compliance. He goes, for me, the output's the output. As long as we get the number, that's all I care about. And that I used to think that way. I was very guilty of that, because I'm the bit like, I don't care how you get it. I don't care what happened. Just get the number. And what I've learned over time is that's not always the best way.
No. Because
one of my friends gave me the saying, because you look behind them and you see a trail of dead bodies, even though you got the number. You screwed up ops, your stuff got sent late, or it was wrong in your invoice or whatever. And so, but you have to question that. You have to question yourself and your processes to get any growth, to build the soil. That's part of tilling the good soil. And treating it.
Well, you as a farmer would understand.
I was exactly.
In Evansville and in Evansville. Okay, so let's go through some of these patterns. And I've got 2 or 3, and I've given you one, which is that whole idea of too much emphasis on the macro, not enough on the micro, which is the big picture versus the detail. And I don't. So we've already done that one. Here's another one is, I feel like one of our patterns of limitation is we are not clear about what we're solving for. And when we're not clear with our prospect or with ourselves, and how many times have you gone into a meeting or kind of observed a meeting with your client, and you think, what are we doing? What's the purpose of this meeting? What are we solving for? And that's the same thing with your prospect. And I find this a lot as we get into these gory details with our customer, but we really haven't identified, well, what's the problem that we're trying to fix or remedy or improve upon? And so this idea of the problem-solving trap of it's vague and it's unclear, just have a real clear understanding of what you're solving for.
I love that. And can I add to that one?
Yeah.
And I think you would have continued to say this if you went deeper in it. And is that problem worth solving right now? Because I think too often sellers, when we're in that qualification mode, we're looking for anything that sounds good for us. We're listening for anything good for us. And as soon as we hear it, we think we're done. We stop questioning that thing, versus going several steps deeper to say, well, just because I can help you fix that doesn't mean we should.
Yeah.
In the example I just used with my friend, when he's like, I'm not a big CRM compliance guy. Well, if my system, it helps with CRM compliance, and it's just not his thing. I'm like, it's not his thing. So, and they've done really well without it, and they've got high demand, and their problem is fulfillment. They don't need more sales right now. They need to know how to fulfill. It's like, there's just nothing here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
In a very real, authentic way. So,
yeah. So what's the solution there? Well, the solution, hang on a second.
It's all right. Now we have a rule. We answer the phone on air.
Hi, I'm in the middle of a recording.
Okay, fine.
Let's keep that. Keep that, Travis.
Yeah. Well, my wife is,
like
hi.
she doesn't know
Hi.
what we do. Hi.
We're in the middle of the advanced selling podcast, for God's
You
sake.
called during the show. I had to answer it on air. That's a really good one.
Okay.
Can I get one?
Yeah, let me
yeah,
plus one what you plus.
Oh,
one.
let's do it.
I'm going to plus.
We're in.
Yeah. The other side of that is be diligent and rigorous about understanding what problem you're solving, the impact of the problem, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if we don't solve it? I mean, there's a whole host of things around that problem solving and problem finding mentality that probably could be, it would improve our capability to working on the right thing, because
Yes.
life is too short to work on the wrong problem, and we do it
Amen.
all the time.
Amen.
All right, go.
So I have one that, and I would think of this like in two different ways. One way is how do I question or how do I recognize I'm in a plateau? So I have flattened out something in my process or in my sales life. I've plateaued on my income. I have plateaued on my sales results. I have plateaued on my margins. I have plateaued on the number of deals I close. I've plateaued on the size of deal. A lot of notice your plateaus, and you can look back with data and look at 3 to 5 years or a trailing 12 months or whatever you want to do and go, man, I have my growth has been fairly flat in this thing or marginal at best. That's an indicator of a plateau. Other folks will say we run on this EOS system, this EOS business system. They call it their hitting the ceiling, and they talk about hitting a ceiling where you. This is very common. We just talked to a company. You hear this, you read this. You start a company, $1 million is a ceiling, and then 3's next, then 5, then 10, then typically 20 to 30, then 50, then 100, and then there's a 250 to 300 million ceiling. These are where companies get stuck. Is the point? That's revenue, but how to constantly notice your plateaus and or your ceilings.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I've got one here, which is, it's kind of a cousin to plateau, and that is drift. Sometimes I feel like we drift away from our purpose and our mission, and we drift into the fleshy world of, well, how much am I going to make, and how much do we need to bring in, and how many calls do I need to make, instead of drifting back to, wait a minute, what are we doing here?
Yep.
Why are we in this business? How are we serving our customers? How are we pleasing our higher power, or whatever those things are that are intangible and unseen? And because you can see the revenue and you can see how many people you're contacting and what your conversion, those are all seen. But what about the unseen? Because there's a whole world of unseen things that I think really matter, whether it's, who you are, your identity, how you think, who you're seeking to become, who you need to become. All those things are really important, and we drift away from those big time.
Do we want to stop and do episode 2 now?
Let's stop. Let's stop here, and then we're gonna sign off, and they're gonna re-record so I can handle these phone calls. That are
and I want to remind me next episode to pick up on your drift comment, because I have something I want to add to that. Is that cool? So go to advancedsellingpodcast.com. Participate in our 20th anniversary success, or what do you call it? Celebration. That's what I'm looking for. Celebration.
Sell it.
Yeah. And if you don't want to wait till we have the website up, go ahead and email us.
Yeah.
Listener at advancedsellingpodcast.com. Send us a little video. You will get a ticket to this event in September. Yeah. Everybody gets a ticket. No cost. Okay.
Right. See you next week.
Bye.